Welcome to Re Godisa Botswana, the podcast that takes a deep dive into Botswana's investment and trade landscape through the BITC lens. Today, our deep dive is going into export promotions. If you recall, a few weeks ago, on the early days, we had Mr. Timon Tapu, who's the Executive Director for Export Promotions and Development. And one of the areas that he touched on was export promotions and what we do. But as I had promised during that interview, we're going to go even deeper into these areas. So today we're going deeper into export promotion, what export promotion is about, what does BITC do when you talk about export promotion, and how do we reach out and how do we assist local businesses, our local producers, and so forth. And to help me unpack all of that, I couldn't have a more relevant person. I've got Calvin Ketshabetswe, Carl, and he's the manager for export promotions right here at BITC. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Ms. P.
How are you?
Good to have you.
Finally, somebody calls me Ms. P. Everybody's ever so like, they forget, I'll be like on this nickname basis. And everybody's all like, yeah. Now at least I've got somebody who tells people I'm Ms. P. How are you doing, Carl?
I'm good, Ms. P. And thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And your viewers also, wherever they are.
Everywhere. That's the beautiful part about it. Like I said, I want us to go deep into export promotion. It's something that we talk about. Part of BITC's core mandate is driving exports, export promotions. And on top of that, we have got the element of export development. But we'll have a deeper chat about export development on a later date. But knowing you, I know you're going to touch on it somewhere as you go along.
Yes.
But for now, I just want you to explain when we say export promotion at BITC, what are we talking about?
Once again, thank you for having us. And when I say us, normally I believe in teamwork.
Yeah.
It's good that you have interacted with our executive director who probably laid the ground. When we talk export promotion, I think there are two approaches to it.
Yeah.
If you are looking at it from high level, you are looking at strategies, policies, and activities that are geared towards enabling an environment for Botswana companies to actually send their goods and services to the global market.
Yeah.
In other words, it's opening a door for international market. If you recall, also BITC reports to the Ministry of Trade and Entrepreneurship, and part of what we've been mandated to do is to also drive economic diversification. That is to say, we want to stay away from the mineral sector reliance on diamonds, as you have seen. And we now need to drive diversification and find products that can be exported, products that can be developed and be exported to other markets. I think secondly, as you have said, it's also the mandate of us as BITC to ensure that we conduct what we call export promotion missions and facilitate trade. Our role there is to obviously, conduct activities that gives companies the opportunity to actually brand or package their products to be able to be sold in these global markets. If I may go further there, you look at activities such as what we call expositions, in short expos. We also arrange what we normally refer to as buyer-seller missions.
Oh, yes. I've heard you use that term before.
Yes. And then you also have what we call international trade exhibitions. And also you may have what we normally would call a contact promotion mission. All these activities also are partnered or they work hand in hand with what sort of capacity building on the ground BITC does. This may be your market intelligence, where in the global market do we think products that are produced in Botswana can compete? And you also look at issues pertaining to trade agreements. Botswana is party to several trade agreements which enable our companies to have duty-free and quota-free access or preferential trade access into the African market and globally.
So would these be like your SACU agreement, your AFCFTA?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes, trade agreements are important because, for instance, if one is trading under the SADC trade protocol, you enjoy the benefits of duty-free and quota-free access into all SADC member states. And what that means is that there is free movement of goods and services, including even human beings.
Oh. Okay. The funny thing is, like I said, I had Timo here, and then and even now, trade agreements are the buzzword because with the tariffs and the trade agreements and stuff, trying to with all that's coming from the US, it's quite interesting to say. Maybe just to throw you a little bit under the bus, just to remind us again what these trade agreements are. What is a trade agreement exactly?
A trade agreement essentially means that two countries or a trading bloc have an agreement that allows the other country to send goods to them at an agreed tariff.
Yes.
Where there is no existing trade agreement, it means that the WTO regulations on trade apply.
Okay.
This may mean most favored nation tariffs applying where there is no trade agreement. Where there is a trade agreement, there is zero import duties on certain goods and services. And also as I had mentioned, you talk about preferential trade, access or market access, meaning that certain countries allow your goods to be sold to that country free of charge in terms of the expected tariff that apply. And then the same country that trades with Botswana, the agreement also allows them to do the same. So when you have a trading bloc like with SACU, Southern African Customs Union, that agreement allows Botswana, Swaziland, Lesotho, and South Africa and Namibia to actually form a bloc and trade within themselves at certain agreed tariffs.
And deny us shopping at OR Tambo. Yes, I've experienced that.
I'm sure you've experienced that several
I've gone
times.
into a store, I'm seeing these nice prices, and then let's see your passport. No, you can't buy here.
The best way to go about it as a secret to your listeners as well who travel, if you are traveling out of a trading bloc, it's the best time to actually buy those goods at OR Tambo. But when you return home, because it's the same customs area, it is not allowed for you to buy such goods. They are duty-free goods, meaning that when you travel to a country that is outside the trading bloc, then you enjoy the benefits of duty-free. And they are sealed in a plastic bag. So as long as you don't open them and you come back home with them, they should not be fussy about it.
Carl, allow me to vent for 30 seconds. So why can't we buy? Like, why can't we as Botswana buy these duty-free under SACU nations? Why are we not allowed to benefit from those nice prices?
It's an agreement, Ms. P.
Okay.
It's an agreement. Remember that countries do benefit from import duties.
Okay.
So if it's duty-free, it means that you are not paying any duties, right?
Okay.
So for OR Tambo, when you are traveling outside the trading bloc, it makes more business sense because when you come back, you can't buy on the same, trade bloc. But anyway, we can take that aside, and I will also give you some tips on it.
Okay. now you've piqued my interest. But I want us to come back to export promotion. So basically, all these trade agreements, our local companies get to benefit from them as they've been negotiated between the different trading blocs and different countries.
Of course.
But just take me through a little journey. Here we have, picture this, we have a company, it's in a position to be able to export, right? Just give us the journey of how we take this company from having its products there. We've assessed that they're export ready. That is our export development stage. But now we're here to say this Company A is ready to export. How do we take us through that journey such that they end up in another market?
As you said, right, we do have what we call Botswana Export Development Program.
Yes.
And that program, what it does is it assesses the level of readiness of any given business that wants to export not only goods but also services.
Yeah.
So what then happens as a first step is that we conduct what we call diagnostic assessment of the company. This relates to their production capacity. This relates to their QMS. It also relates to their packaging, requirements and things like that.
Yes.
The gaps that are identified when this exercise is conducted are the gaps that we use to bring in interventions to ensure that the company really becomes export ready.
Yes.
It's a process because there are different forms of interventions that come to play.
Depending on what you find.
Depending on what you
the
find.
Gaps.
Because again, it also depends on the sort of commodity that we're talking about. If it's food, if it's hardware, if it's fast consumable goods, there are different types of and fresh fruits and vegetables. But here at BITC and to your listeners, the BDP program then assists these companies to bridge the gaps.
Okay, yeah.
If, for instance, a company didn't have organic certificate in order to fulfill the requirements of a certain market that we would have looked into.
Yes.
And now if a company now is ready and has fulfilled and has bridged those gaps, it comes to us at Export Promotion. And given the number of promotional activities that we have on the ground, we then introduce it to a new market that they have not exported to before. If it's a first-time exporter, we ensure that we handhold them.
Okay.
I'll give you an example with a cosmetics company that probably has acquired an organic certificate. And they are taken to South Africa at a show called Cytex. I'm sure you're familiar with Cytex.
Oh, yes.
In Johannesburg, in Midrand. Midrand to say.
Plug, why don't you?
So what we then do is we introduce this company. They are a given exhibition space, meaning BITC pays for the exhibition space for them to be able to pitch and have their product samples that side. We also transfer or freight forward their trade samples and branding material for them to use that when we get to that. Over and above this, we ensure that they do not only pitch and showcase their products. We want to also ensure they get value addition by way of organizing B2B meetings. Meaning we look for matchmaking buyers, agents, distributors in South Africa, and not only in South Africa, because when you have a show like Cytex, it's a combination of the African continent and other global, key players who want to find out what's in it for them in South Africa and also in Africa and Botswana at large. So the introduction of these products into those potential buyers and distributors and agents is how a company begins to find new markets
and enter into different markets,
space. And provided they meet the minimum requirements of such a market, then we handhold them to go into there. But apart from just these exhibitions and expos, one of the things that we also ensure we conduct prior to that is we look into the market. We produce a brief market access report that indicates the real export opportunities of that particular market.
Is this done through the intelligence unit, or is it also done through export?
We work hand in hand with the business intelligence. But we also have internal market analysis tools that the team uses to just get a dashboard.
And it's just a quick feel of this particular market.
And also a well-detailed real export opportunity based on real trade. If you may. Okay, and that's how then, obviously, depending on the outcomes of these engagements and these different platforms, happily you enter into a market. Of course. They establish leads. If somebody is interested and they want a consignment of what they are producing based on their level of capacity that we would have assessed before, looking at the competitiveness of their price. And by the way, I think we'll talk about it at a later stage, but other challenges such as Botswana being landlocked, there are high costs of transportation and things like that.
We're land-linked, Carl. We're land-linked.
We're land-linked, not locked.
Yes, land-linked. I've learned this new term.
So that is really critical because if a company has gone to that level of where they can fulfill the minimum requirements of the market, then they find new buyers, and first consignment is celebrated. But our duty is also to ensure that we sustain exportation of these products. We are not looking at a once-off kind of arrangement. BITC ensures that these levels of certifications and interventions last for long term. Because products can be developed in different forms and shapes. So for us, once we have that company being export ready and is able to do a first consignment, we are also going to be looking at other markets that we believe the product can also
go into as well. But tell me something. I know that this is the initial stages. Now, different companies different products, everything is unique in terms of the market and all of the journeys that they follow. How far do we go with assistance? I mean, some people may have challenges in terms of navigating the local regulations in the new market. Some people may have challenges of meeting certain requirements. Do we play a role there, or once we have let you set up, it's sure?
No, as you said, right, different entities require different interventions.
Yes.
You will find a company that has been in existence in the local market or domestic market for the longest period, say 15 years, but they have never exported.
Yes.
Their level of quality is good in terms of their production.
They've got their systems in place.
They've got their systems in place. They've got some good strategies in place, marketing strategies in place. Our role would be to probably enhance their domestic marketing strategy into an export strategy. That would enable them to now look at the region as opposed to the domestic market they've been servicing for the longest period. So yes, other companies require minimal interventions. Others may require financial, technical assistance. Others may require quality management certifications. Others need to change their packaging from English to Arabic,
the local language,
or to Arabic if they are going to be looking at the UAE market, for instance.
Portuguese if you're going
Portuguese
to the Mozambique,
if it's DRC, Mozambique, and Angola. So such interventions, come on a case by case basis.
That is true. Now tell me, we've had journeys with different companies. Any coming to mind that have been able to get into the export world and have stayed there, obviously still servicing the local market?
The way I'm sitting, I've experienced and observed so much success.
That's nice.
From what the former, if you allow me, the former Bedia and now BITC.
Why do you say if you allow me?
Because I know a lot of people don't want us to talk about Bedia. We have played a pivotal role as a government institution or as a government parastatal in the development of certain small medium enterprises to start exporting in the region. And there are several companies, of course, that we have assisted, and some of them I was also personally party to such kind of enabling environments and interventions, and the team, of course. What comes to my mind, I think, perhaps to share with your listeners, is a company called Organic Fertilizer Manufacturers of Botswana.
Oh, yes.
The simplicity of their production, their packaging, and how we also came on board to assist them obtain organic certification to enable them to start exporting. It's a good journey. It's quite an interesting...
And they're still able to export to this day.
And they're still able to export this day. And their participation in some of our activities and campaigns, marketing campaigns, like in Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, in South Africa, and the presence of their products as organic products in some of the retail stores that are renowned, that are reputable, even in South Africa. It just makes you see and wonder and really look at some of the good things that BITC has achieved and the export team to say. And this continues to happen even with other companies that I may not mention by names, but there's just so much
that are coming up. And
I think at the current moment, if you look at BITC assisted exporting firms on the manufacturing side of things, you are looking at around 42 companies actively and
that
consistently
are actively,
exporting to markets.
So they're managing to service the local market and the international markets that they're
important. Any company that thrives in servicing the domestic market, usually their success rate of going into export market is really high.
Oh, that is nice.
Yes.
I actually hadn't made that connection, even though I was always aware that there has to be a domestic component to it before you go into the international aspect of things.
Yes.
But now, we've got different products. You just mentioned fertilizer. A product I use, by the way. I'm Pusher BW through and through. We've got others. We've got the harnesses. We've got salts.
Yeah.
Do we export it as salt, or do we export it as sodium chloride? Refined.
Yes. Yeah. You are talking about value addition.
Yes, value addition.
Because Botswana does not want to continue to export raw material.
Okay.
But of course, yes, it's 4 types of products that they send out there.
Yeah, from soda ash.
There is soda ash.
That's what I was looking for. Hampur, Yes.
There's soda ash, there's coarse salt, there's fine salt and chemical salt. The other one is used for glass industry purposes, manufacturing.
Okay.
The other ones are used for livestock feeds, and the other ones are used for detergents and chemicals. All these are exported out of the country, not only to South Africa. We have seen this company also exporting to other, faraway markets outside Africa.
Yeah. And then we've also got veterinary medicines.
And veterinary medicines, yes. Vaccines.
Would I be wrong in saying we've got some of the best vaccines? Would I be wrong?
Institute. No. When we say medicine,
vaccine. I'm sure of vaccines. Yes.
There may be other products that are not necessarily vaccines, but that they are producing. And that's one of the flagship companies that we've seen growing from the older times to be where they are at the moment.
That's my confidence about some of the best vaccines out there.
Yeah, in fact, this company, it's strategically placed also to service the whole of Africa and beyond, because their footprint is really well established.
Okay.
And like I always say, Ms. P, it's all about consistency.
It is.
I'm learning that. Ad hoc sales. A company that we say it's a seasoned exporter. It's one that consistently exports to different markets.
Okay.
It continues to find new markets, continues to develop the product to meet the requirements of other markets as well.
And then we also have, I know we know about us exporting diamonds, but we've got other minerals. We've got coal, isn't it? Anything else that we're exporting in the mineral section that we could celebrate here? I'm trying to celebrate. I want people to know that we're really doing things out there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the company that we've just been talking about is considered as a mine, although it's
soda ash. Yes.
And then of course coal also.
Yes.
The bulk of our coal goes to the South African and Namibian markets. And we also can talk about beef, and there are other future opportunities for emerging technologies and value additions in some of the products that could come from our mining sector.
You mentioned the value addition aspect of it. What is the significance of us moving to that level where we export products that are beyond raw, if for lack of a better way of describing it?
It's quite important because right now we'll talk about the AFCFTA later, which also has huge opportunities for our local companies. It's critical that we look at value addition as opposed to exporting raw material, because in the end, there are emerging sectors that we need to focus on based on global trends, in terms of investment, trends globally. So it's important for us to also align ourselves to development goals, to Agenda 2063 of the AU. We also need to encourage intra-regional trade, where we have African countries, opening borders for each other as we see happening. Now, what's going to happen in the future is that instead of sending coal outside the country, we are going to have other downstream kind of products,
Okay.
like your coal to liquids,
Yeah, coal
your
to liquids,
gas.
yeah.
So those need coal as a raw material to be
Okay.
produced and also be further developed
Yeah.
outside the country. But there are other products that are going to be emerging. Like right now, we're talking, OEM.
Which
Okay, original equipment manufacturing.
if
for
I'm ambiguous
EVs.
about it, imagine the viewer.
Okay, for EVs,
Yes.
electric vehicles.
Yeah.
It's nowadays, if you look at what countries are doing, they are aligning themselves to electric vehicles. There is an emerging technology also
Yeah.
that is talking to hydrogen-based, energy.
We
You
are
are
there.
also looking at some of the new batteries that are being developed out
Okay.
there
Yeah.
that are coming from manganese.
Oh,
And
yes.
in Botswana,
yes.
we have
manganese.
manganese.
Yeah. Yes.
So that in future is going to change the way Botswana will be trading.
Okay.
We call this green minerals.
Yeah, I was
because
going to say
everybody
you're
is going-
sounding like you've stepped into the climate, conversation, sustainability, green.
Of course.
Yeah. So we are literally positioning ourselves to also be part of that game.
Botswana has to align itself with those industries
Yes.
because this is where the future of production lies.
Okay.
And once we realize the technologies, there is biotechnology out there.
Yeah,
There is green, as I said, green minerals. There is also clean energy. There is also renewable energy products that are going to be. A lot of
we've got
countries
so
are
much
now
sun.
focusing.
Yes.
A lot of countries are now focusing on that. So
Yeah,
very soon, those who are producing lithium-based batteries may find themselves having to align with the global
change
trend
direction
and be able to look at the new technologies.
Yeah. Oh, that is actually critical. Earlier on you mentioned side techs and other, I like to believe that trade promotion activities. But what I've also noticed that we've introduced a new element, which is virtual trade promotion missions.
Okay.
Now, wait, before I even say, what's the difference between a promotion activity and a mission? Or is it just the same thing, just that I've used English differently?
Perhaps when you say a promotional activity, you are referring to activities that fall under a marketing campaign of some sort.
Okay.
And when you say mission, here at BITC, there are two forms of missions.
Yeah.
You may have those that we undertake for attraction of foreign direct investment into the country, inward.
Yes.
And we also have outward, where we carry with us, a delegation of different sectors of the economy to go look for market and opportunities.
And then the virtual one, which is a third dimension, clearly.
Yes, the virtual trade missions here post-COVID. And COVID had given us a lesson to say that business can also be conducted online.
Yes.
And here you are looking at virtual trade promotion missions where you organize a virtual interaction between two countries of a trade mission.
Yeah.
And I think recently we conducted one with Uganda.
Yes.
And we also conducted one with Ghana. And
Mm.
we are yet to conduct others. The good thing about these virtual trade promotion missions is that you on the ground still have to, coordinate or facilitate meetings between virtual meetings, by the way, between Botswana companies and the market that we have targeted. So what usually happens there is just a cost-effective way of doing things instead of traveling to that market. And particularly based on the economic trends right now at the moment where we find ourselves low, they are a go-to, low-hanging fruit for us. And we work with our strategic partnerships with other trade promotion agencies. Like in Uganda, we were working with PASAID, a presidential, agenda or directive on import exports in Uganda. They are more or less BITC. Uganda. So what we did there was we expressed interest and we held several, meetings with them and requested that they mobilize mobilize their business community, those interested in the Botswana, and it was quite amazing, and the turn-up was good. And what we do here at the side is we ensure that even the invitations that we send out to companies do tally with or matchmake the ones that are coming from a visiting country, or the one that we're conducting a virtual trade mission with.
I know that when we do these when we do trade missions, right, we then have, like you mentioned earlier, B2B meetings and engagements that happen on the sides, usually along an expo that will be going on. Right now, on a virtual setup, what happens? Do they then move, like they engage, they listen, and then after that, those that are interested, we facilitate meetings on the side, or they just say to each other, let's go, we'll talk later?
Usually what we do is we have a first program, an official program, which also includes our heads of missions, meaning either the High Commissioner or Ambassador of Botswana representing in that country, and as well as the resident one here in Botswana, just to give speeches in terms of
lay the groundwork, basically.
Yes, lay the groundwork, and obviously talking to trade relations between the two countries and what the plans are. Because Botswana, as I had said, is party to different trade agreements, and on an ongoing, there are usually meetings that are held by heads of state to discuss any trade-related matters or ministerial decisions that were made in the past and the implementation thereof, follow-ups. So we usually would do that. Then secondly, to help whoever is participating to understand the way of doing business in that particular market. If it's Uganda, for instance, they would be conducting a presentation on doing business in Uganda. Or what does a Botswana-based company require to actually start up a business or do business with Uganda? And on the flip side of the coin, you have Botswana also presenting to Ugandan business community on what sort of opportunities exist for them to seize. And we also talk about some of the challenges that have been experienced in the past. You may be getting one of the exporters who has already sent their goods aside. Just for the participants to gain insight and understanding of how things work. And then, of course, after the first deliberations of the program, that's where now we usually have what we call breakaway rooms. We automatically divide the participants, send them in different sectoral rooms, where those who are interested in mining, agriculture, as well as manufacturing or financial services,
they now speak that language together
in the same room. So what we usually do is we have both a representative from that market being present in each and every breakaway room, and also here at BITC we ensure that we assign someone to coordinate and facilitate. Then we obviously have takeaways that we follow afterwards. This now becomes our leads generation kind of monitoring. So this is where orders come.
So literally it is your typical trade mission without the physical interaction. No, definitely. I see it now.
It always feels like the physical one, actually. You do sweat when you do
a lot. Because people don't understand. There's a lot of running that happens during a trade mission. There's a lot of coordination.
Definitely.
But now, we've spoken about expos and we have Global Expo coming up.
Yes.
It is a big platform. And if I'm sitting here and I want to be an exporter, how can I take advantage of Global Expo? Are there any opportunities for me who I feel like I've got a product here and I would like to, test it out there? How can I take advantage of Global Expo?
I guess as colleagues have already spoken to that as well. Global Expo Botswana 2025 edition is quite different.
I know.
This time around we have upped the game, if there's anything like that in English.
No, trust me, and our English is there.
It's in another new dimension.
Yes.
And specifically projects driven. Because we're saying there are a lot of projects out there in Botswana that have not seen the light in terms of whether it's a new concept or whether it's an existing company that wants to really develop their product, or they are looking for partnerships, really. Because product development may require technical assistance there and there. They may also require financial assistance. Now, Global Expo Botswana, it's an enabling environment for businesses to thrive and be able to see, firstly, where the market place is for their ideas. There will be investors that have been invited to Global Expo Botswana who would be evaluating and also looking at the businesses that are going to pitch or projects that are going to pitch. For it could be funding, it could be for your joint venture partnerships, it could be for technical assistance, it could be for new opportunities.
So
as a way of diversification
at an international level.
Yes.
I'm getting that vibe when you say it that way.
Now imagine a place where we bring all these renowned and reputable, investors. And you also have angel investors, Botswana. I believe they will also be there. You have several financiers who are looking for projects based on the sectors that they promote.
And these are international financiers, local financiers.
We want to ensure that we also have trade financing institutions being there. So it's a buffet of several partnerships at play and huge potential. So just to the viewer there at home, the potential and the opportunity is huge for them.
True.
We are not only inviting anyone and everyone. This is a paid up event this time around, particularly with the Pula Investment Conference, because we want value for their money. We want to bring into the house real and when I say real, please don't get me wrong. When I say real, I'm saying we want to bring value also in the level of delegation that's represented from the sectors of the economy, both from here and also from outside, because our delegates are not only going to be from Botswana, we're also looking outward, and internationally we'll be having people coming here interested in the projects that they can fund in Botswana. So yes, it's a huge opportunity for them, exporters who want to look for new markets, already exporting elsewhere.
They need to be there.
You'll be there, and then this is where you can actually enter into these agreements.
And
deals,
you're right.
Deals can be made at Global Expo Botswana.
I think
that's exactly what we want to do.
Very true. And what I like to say is that it's turning conversations into tangible outcomes.
Of course.
That's what this year's Global Expo really aims to do, where you could leave with a signed contract. It can be an NDA, MOU, MOA. It can be the real deal. Say tomorrow we're starting to do business and things of that nature. And that is really what Global Expo is driving. That's what I'm gathering from all of this. And if you are really, really serious about getting your business out there, you have to move mountains to make sure you're there. And I think, and I want to highlight that, on the Global Expo website, the pay portal is there. Make sure you're registered, make sure you've paid, and you've got a product to show, make sure you've got your stall as well.
Of course.
Because times are ticking.
And the most exciting part is that, nowadays, because of technology, payment gateway is ready for them. Wherever they are in the world, they should be able to make payment.
They should be able to make payment.
For attending the investment conference, as well as pitching at showcasing their products at the exhibition hall.
100%. So that by the time you get here, you know that your stall is booked, ready, and it's a matter of just set up and go.
Of course.
Which is what I like. But I want to bring us back a bit. Earlier on, you'd mentioned that we'll go a bit deeper into the AFCFTA. Yes, I got it right.
The AFCFTA.
That thing is hard. Now, such platforms, right? What new doors are they opening? I don't want to go too deep into what the AFCFTA is, other than, yes, it is a trade agreement, but just a snapshot of what it is and, what doors does it open for our local products, and growing our footprint regionally and obviously globally.
This is preferential market access into the African continent.
Simply put, I'll remember that.
1.3 billion consumers in the
big
continent.
Market.
And you are looking at over 240 million worth of potential opportunities.
Lots of opportunities.
As I said before, this is AU's agenda, 2063? Yes.
2063?
Yes.
So now I was reading 2036. That's the number I'm used to. 2063.
For
our vision, yes.
So essentially what it means is that preferential market access of products that are produced here in Botswana. The African continent is now going to open its borders and offer huge opportunities for companies that have been exporting to far other markets and focus on the north of Africa or east of Africa. And we obviously are already seeing some of the infrastructural developments that are taking place geared towards ensuring that the environment is created for our companies. So yes, for Botswana companies, it means new markets. It means new opportunities.
Ease of entering the markets.
Yeah, there is also new opportunity to even import raw material from within the African continent, where you've been getting it from elsewhere. We did not realize the potential that the African continent has. I think we, for the longest period, have been focusing on Southern Africa region, but what it now means is that the continent is going to open up for intra-regional trade. And then, of course, as I have said, that opens a door for our exporters to consider sending their goods and services. And I keep saying goods and services because there's export of goods and there's also trade in services. Botswana out there at home listening need to understand that also in trade you can actually export your services, your professional services.
I wasn't going to ask, but how do you export countries. A service?
If you take, for instance, mining engineers who have been very active in the mines and are currently in the marketplace and not working for certain mining companies. If they establish consortiums or they establish groups, they could look at offering the same services that they were given to Cat9 or mining services in terms of the design of mining. I'm just giving mining because Botswana is renowned for its mining sector. So the same drilling services that they have been offering. Other countries like DRC, like Zambia and the Copper Belt,
those that do a lot of mining as well.
Those. Angola, for instance, is looking for African trainers. It's looking for people who are coming from here. One of just to digress a bit, one of the questions that I got while I was flying, one of the guys we were just having a conversation on my way to Zambia one day, and on this flight I sat next to one of the guys from South Africa. It was a white person, and we started talking about how for the longest period Africa has been importing skills from outside for the mining industry in Botswana.
And yet we do so much mining.
Now, what should happen in future and even now should be that we should be able to raise our own engineers who can play a role in also designing and implementing mining industries in the whole of Africa. So those are services.
We've had the skills exchange by now, right?
Yes.
We now know what we no longer need to import.
If you look at our innovation hub, where we're talking biotechnology, we're talking clean energy, we're talking fintech, we're talking robotics and things like that. There are other countries that need such services. So we should not only be looking at Southern Africa.
We should really take the continent as a whole.
Yes, and learn also from what other countries have done. So export of services is possible. You can actually earn a lot of foreign exchange based on the services that you provide in other countries based in Botswana.
Whenever we speak export, I'll be fair, I never really think of services. We generally think of products. I
can give you a good example of, let's say, how they really extended their financial services model. They're even in Uganda, they are in all over the place.
I've seen them in Mozambique.
That's the kind of growth that we're talking about. That your services could still, BITC can still assist you to look at what's required for you to actually operationalize in that market, and then handhold you to the level that you provide services and export services from Botswana.
I'll note that as my eye-opener moment for the week.
Great.
Now, I want us to do a quick look ahead, right? Where do you see the greatest opportunities for Botswana? Earlier, you mentioned renewable energies. Are they like those those opportunities for our exporters going into the future? Where do you see, and how do you see as BITC positioning ourselves and obviously our local producers?
I think if you look at our current strategy, 5-year strategy, there is a shift in terms of the sectors to focus on for attracting investment into the country. The very same setups that are based on the sectors of priority that are established by the government of Botswana are the very same sectors that we want to drive exporters to, either to reinvest in new sectors of the economy or to embed what they have in the current economy as well. We are the very same institution that is going to market the new products that they've come up with based on the global trends. So the future of exporters in Botswana also lies in new technologies, also lies with services. It also lies with, as I had said earlier, if you are into the EV industry, you look at other new sectors or subsectors, talking to green minerals. You also talk about, your solar, you talk about, in fact, you can actually export even a solar, what do you call it? Power generated
solar
from
panels, solar batteries.
Not only that, even the generation, the power generated itself can also be exported to other countries, provided there are agreements on the
We have got a lot of sun, and we're about to remember that in the next few weeks.
I think also if we look at sustainable indigenous natural products from Botswana, there is room and opportunity for them to be repackaged and to be really sold at high value. I think also the one thing in the agriculture space, technology, plays a critical role as well in there. And here I'm talking about establishment of also, what they call, I'll give an example with what Eswatini is doing in terms of the fresh produce in their country. They are exporting baby vegetables to Netherlands. And this speaks to the horticulture sector in Botswana.
Baby vegetables.
If you walked into the Woolworths store, which I believe you always walk into, you'll see that baby carrots, baby potatoes, baby marrows.
Oh, you mean like that, like your baby spinach?
Now, those are high value crops.
The
little cabbages that you see being sold at Woolworths are organic. Of course, they are organic and they are of high value than a well-developed cabbage head.
I feel proud carrying that big thing.
Now, a lot of the European markets require or they are in high demand because they prefer organic, products. Botswana can still, have exporters who are seriously, interested in, sending their fresh produce, not only these vegetables, but also fruits where it's possible. I think if I may, I was actually part of the team that conducted a benchmarking study in Eswatini and in South Africa. And one of the things that we discovered was that their model is quite sustainable in that they have a local body that governs cropping plans for all farmers in the country who are producing. And in each and every farm that is producing, it's an accredited farm.
With Eswatini, basically, it's a very coordinated approach to the agriculture. And that's something you believe we could take on this side as well?
Yes. We could actually borrow from that. It's a deliberate move by them, having looked at the opportunity in the Netherlands. They've got farms that are accredited to actually produce for export only. And they are regularly and closely monitored in terms of their QMS and things and packaging as well.
When you say that, I'm thinking, not to deliberate on the issue too much, but I'm thinking about maybe that could be an approach we take to enhance, because I know that it gets accredited for EU beef exporting of beef to the EU. So maybe we could take lessons from that. As much as I'm not going to claim to have really gone deep into the system for the EU accreditation, but I believe we could take lessons from that. If you're accredited, you get into this system to ensure that the chain doesn't break anywhere.
There had been efforts by Botswana government and the different ministries authorities and other stakeholders such as Bohoko, Botswana Horticultural Council, as well as currently with SIDA having introduced the local horticultural market. More could be done, but I think at national level, remember that you've got your small farmers, you've got mid-sized farmers, you've got commercial farmers. Now we need to have one institution that seems to be governing this and being able to deliberately make this a law that anybody who produces fresh vegetables in Botswana should be accredited
and meeting certain standards.
I don't want to talk about other things aside that have that are indicators that the horticulture business in Botswana needs a shift, and we can deliberately do so and drive with the relevant stakeholders to ensure that we are monitored specifically for export. Because as I'm saying, there's huge potential for produce for exporting.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. You see, this always happens to me when I have export here. All right.
Okay.
I thought I was going to unpack export promotion and leave it in a nice neat bow, but yet again I feel like there's still a lot, there's still a lot that we can unpack, especially taking advantage and learning from what other markets are doing, seeing how we can get ourselves to that level. I'm afraid of when we have the export development conversation, because it's going to be also taking in lessons and seeing what we can do. But what it also tells me is that there's so much opportunity. There's so much we can still do. And there's so much that Botswana can take advantage of. And with that, I would always say, seeing all these opportunities, one, my advice would be make sure you're at Global Expo from the 8th to the 11th of October. Make sure you've registered for the Pula Investment Conference, especially if you've got a project that you believe should be, you want to showcase. We have got international partners coming through, potential partners, investors, and so forth. We don't know how far you could go, but definitely we're creating opportunities for you to be able to take advantage. Also, come through to BITC, learn more about export promotion, and find out if your product is ready to export. You can sit there and think my product is ready, but what we will be able to tell you at BITC is whether you're ready. But even if you're not ready, we have got platforms and processes and systems in place that will help your product be export ready. And from there, we'll also facilitate you entering markets. You've identified a market, we help you enter that market. You want intelligence and information on different markets, we have that as well. It's just the holistic buffet platter, whatever you want to call it, on getting yourself into the international markets.
Great.
And with that is me saying, follow us on different platforms, on our different digital platforms. On Facebook, it's Botswana Investment and Trade Center. On X, formerly known as Twitter, today I got it right, I'm not going to be killed by the producer. On X, formerly known as Twitter, is Botswana, it's go_Botswana. And on Instagram, it's go Botswana1. Follow us, learn more. We're always putting out information, and you can also check out our BITC website, www.bitc.co.bw. And with that, it's thank you, and next week we'll be chatting again.